And joining us now to talk more about Prince Philip's legacy and what comes next is ABC News contributor and author Imogen Lloyd Weber. Imogen, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course, happy to be here.
Well, the Queen and Prince Philip got married right after World War II. It's incredible how many decades they've been married, and they've been by each other's side ever since. Give us a sense of the role that Prince Philip played in the lives of the royal family.
Absolutely key. I mean, as you mentioned, they were married in 1947, almost 74 years. Philip was the longest-serving consort in British history and the oldest-serving partner of a reigning monarch. He was right there with the Queen. Now, the Queen is obviously figurehead to over 2 billion people, a third of the world. But Prince Philip was figurehead to the royal family. So he ran the family, as it were, while the Queen was busy reigning over those billions of people. So he's absolutely intrinsic to the history of the UK and sort of around the world as well.
You know, he was never in line for the British throne, and it was clear from the beginning that he would never be given the title of king, something that never seemed to bother him. He always came across so humble. Tell us more about this dynamic and his relationship with the Queen, and did that evolve or change over the years?
It's sort of a very interesting fact that both of them, both the Queen and Prince Philip, were great-great-grandchildren of Queen Victoria, but they had very different upbringings. The Queen, obviously, full of deference and so forth. Prince Philip, on the other hand, he was born into the Greek royal family, and they went into exile when Prince Philip was still a baby. He famously escaped as a baby in an orange crate on a boat. They were penniless. He supposedly, when he married the Queen, had less than 25 cents to his name. So he saw a very different side of things to the Queen. She relied on him very much for his perspective, for his foot in the real world. He, on very many levels, made the royal family more approachable and accessible. People talk about Diana doing that, and Meghan and Harry, but actually it was Prince Philip that started that sort of side of things, of opening up the royal family. So he was never going to be king consort. He knew that from the start. He was always very realistic about his place in the world and within the family.
And his gentle role, indeed. You know, his passing comes just weeks, Imogen, after that blockbuster interview that his grandson, Prince Harry, and his wife, Meghan, gave to Oprah. Clearly, there is tension between them and the palace. So do we anticipate Harry and Meghan heading back to London, you think?
That's a very interesting question. There's obviously the backdrop of COVID as well. In the UK currently, funerals are restricted to 30 people. Now, Prince Philip had 8 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. So, you know, there's a very big family there. Now, it is believed that Prince Harry, because he has the status of diplomat, he could circumnavigate some COVID restrictions and quarantine and therefore make it to the funeral. So I think it's very much expected that Prince Harry will go. Meghan, less certain, of course, because she's pregnant with a baby daughter due in the summer. But I think we'd all be very surprised if Prince Harry wasn't there. They will obviously put on a show of family unity, but this will be the first time that Prince Harry is in the same room as the rest of his family since that blockbuster interview. So we shall see what transpires behind closed doors. I'm sure we'll be hearing something of that.
Oh, it'll definitely be interesting to watch. The folks are always fascinated by the royals. You know, the last ceremonial funeral for a member of the royal family was back in 2002 after the passing of the Queen's mother, Queen Mum, of course, without a public funeral. Will that impact Philip's legacy, you think?
No, I don't think so. And actually, COVID is playing into what Prince Philip always wanted. He didn't want the fuss of a ceremonial funeral. He wanted a small funeral at Windsor. So he's getting what he wished. His legacy is extraordinary. I mean, he was going to turn 100 in June. He lived a very full life, something like 22,000 public engagements. He was patron of over 700 families, 700 charities. So he lived an extraordinary life, and we will be looking back on it for many years to come.
Imogen Lloyd Weber, thanks so much for talking with me tonight.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.